Good morning. Welcome to Spiritual Reflection today from Deborah's Tree. I'm the Rev Roslyn Taylor. And before we get into the reflection, I just want to give a thank you to the many people who've helped us out in so many ways at Deborah's Tree. People who have helped us with our programming, people who are doing IT work for us, the Lord's New Church for partnering with us and helping us with access to their beautiful property and many other ways, and people who've been promoting Deborah's Tree, and of course people who've been making their generous donations to us. I thank all of you. Deep appreciation for the support for this ministry. So setting the coffee aside, let's take a moment to center. Ignoring the distractions outside and centering on the spiritual processes within. Today I want to take a look at a little phrase from Psalm 89. And the phrase is from verse 43, "You have blunted my sword." An overview of the psalm is that it starts off with praising and singing the wonders of the Divine One's love. And then there's a vision about David being raised up as a powerful king. And that goes along with threats of punishment by the divine if David's kingdom doesn't follow the divine commands. Then there's a section complaining about how the divine has rejected David and his people and brought on their enemies. And then the psalm ends briefly with praise and blessings for the divine. So Psalm 89:43, about "you have blunted my sword," is in the complaining section of the psalm, which the complaining part is a necessary part of the spiritual path. The psalm literally, of course, is about events in the history of the nation of Israel, but it's also internally about our spiritual path, of course. That's a very Swedenborgian teaching. So we rejoice about receiving guidance and love from the divine, and then we intend to receive the divine as the ruler in our lives. But then we undergo spiritual battles to sort out our true priorities. And then we return to praising and blessing the divine. From the perspective of Swedenborgian theology, we can read that complaining section more internally as a description of how the divine allows us to experience spiritual temptations. But we can also read it rather paradoxically as gratitude that the divine is breaking our old self down, or actually has accomplished in creating a new self in specific areas of our lives. "You have blunted my sword and refused to help me in battle." So that's written as a complaint that we feel powerless and abandoned in our spiritual struggles. But paradoxically, the impact on me anyway, reading that, was gratitude that at least some of the time the divine has mostly taken away my desire and skill to use words to intentionally hurt people. The divine gives us many opportunities to think and say things that intentionally hurt other people or make them appear less worthy than ourselves. I'm not saying that the divine is asking us to do that, but in our interactions with people, me, you, all of us can easily jump into that effort to hurt people with our words. I know I've jumped in the past with my criticisms and my judgments and my hurtful words that penetrate the heart and soul, like a twisted version of the two-edged sword in the book of Revelation. In the Apocalypse Revealed explanation about that part from the book of Revelation about the divine one with a two-edged sword, that sword is said to penetrate the heart and soul. And I know that I think I've done that at times in a not a good way with the words that I've spoken. But now, thanks to walking this spiritual path for a while, I realize that I can, and I sometimes do use restraint. And I've learned that I can see deeper motivations within people for their actions and their words, rather than jumping to dismissing them or judging them or cutting them down in some way. That's a gift that's been given to me through walking the path that's described in this psalm of rejoicing in a relationship with the divine, but then immediately struggling with this pattern of cutting people down, using a sword to hurt them, but then finally coming to the realization that the divine has blunted my sword in many ways, and that the words that I instinctively would know to hurt somebody just come as a fleeting thought into my mind. But that I'm able to then remember, oh yes, I can look to the good in this person instead. I can see maybe with more compassion how it is that they have come to be saying and doing the things that they're doing, and focus on the goodness in them. So with that thought in mind, I have just a short prayer focus for today. Please join me in prayer. Divine One, please blunt our swords today and help us to withhold criticism and judgment, so that instead of battling the people around us, we can enjoy the blessing of accepting and loving your beloved humans as we encounter them. Please blunt our swords today. Amen. And now, go forth today with joy and with the knowledge that the divine can help you in your relationships